Oh, what's that?
It's a dragonfly. They don't bite. Well, they might try and bite you. Come on, Chief, let's see you roast one. Oh, machine.
Oh, it's nice to be back.
PGA Tour cards up for grabs.
These are the PGA Tour's proving grounds.
Can you step up and make one of the most important parts of your career?
They tour level test.
You just gotta really grind, stay consistent, staying patient.
In a grueling season.
It is gut-wrenching for those guys out there.
Seems to be in shock a little bit. What just happened?
Tour hopefuls are sharpened into champions.
There's a lot of pressure. It's a great opportunity to get to where we ultimately want to go.
The singular goal remains the same: to earn a PGA Tour card.
On the Korn Ferry Tour, they are all just one shot away. As the next wave navigates the challenging road ahead, one shot away will follow the season-long trajectory of several PGA Tour hopefuls, each navigating their own unique journey.
Callum Tarren, 29-year-old, second year in a row on the Korn Ferry Tour. Won PGA Tour Series China in 2018.
England's Callum Tarren is known for wearing his heart on his sleeve.
Oh, that's huge.
It's a strong tour and the competition's so deep. I've got a full year to try and prove myself, really.
And brings with him a focused intensity inside the ropes. Australian Ryan Ruffels is no stranger to high expectations after he turned pro at 17. Now a 5-year pro, he's seeking to capitalize on his talent and replicate the success he once enjoyed as a highly touted amateur. As is 23-year-old Braden Thornberry, the former #1 amateur in the world, and whose homegrown swing stands out from the crowd.
I think I'm just going to try to, make tweaks and be a little more consistent, but, overall just keep what I have and just continue to improve it year after year.
The former Ole Miss standout will aim to carry momentum from a successful college career, much like Chicago native Nick Hardy.
Former standout at the University of Illinois.
I take a lot of what we learned at Illinois into what I do now as a professional, especially because everything that we learned and did at Illinois was for eventually turning pro.
And after just missing out on the taste of victory a season ago, Dylan Wu returns for his second year on the Korn Ferry Tour, eager to make the leap and close the deal.
One of the things is just to be more consistent. When you have such a long season and have so many events, every shot does matter, no matter what day it is.
Since 1990, the Korn Ferry Tour has acted as the primary pathway to golf's most prestigious platform.
We've seen so many guys do so well that have graduated off the Korn Ferry Tour. It's proven to be the best proving ground.
That tour provided me a PGA Tour experience to get my game and myself ready to be able to play against the best players in the world.
It's a grind. It's not very glamorous like it is on the PGA Tour.
If you work hard and you keep knocking on the door, eventually you're gonna break through.
You gotta be willing to climb the hill. Whether you got pebbles in your shoes or not, just embrace the pressure.
But this year, players must endure more than ever before.
We're obviously incredibly disappointed to suspend the PGA Tour season and all of our tours and tournaments.
The COVID-19 pandemic put a halt to the season, resulting in the cancellation of 10 events and the postponement of 5 more.
We were all just completely in shock at the beginning of just like, what is going on?
It felt like I was gaining a little bit of momentum. I was looking forward to that next stretch of golf.
We got the call that said, we got to cancel this thing and shut her down. And yeah, ever since then, it's been a weird time.
It doesn't matter what profession you're in, for the world to just kind of stop the way it has feels like it's in a bit of a movie.
This pandemic is definitely bigger than golf. You just got to move on and just stay positive and just control what you can control.
But prior to the COVID-19 hiatus,
Welcome to the Caribbean, where everyone starts the year with a clean slate.
Wu established himself as a player to watch in 2020.
Had kind of the dream start in the Bahamas.
11 under in these conditions. Great playing.
I was really, really proud of myself.
Right when he needed it. He'll stay one back.
A great start finishing second. Because if you play well early, it kind of takes the pressure off.
After his second career runner-up finish, Wu took his momentum island hopping the following week.
Back-to-back weeks in the Bahamas.
Last year, I had a lot of good weeks and a lot of bad weeks. So the biggest thing this year I want to focus on is consistency.
Wu kept his fast start on track with an 18th place finish, but it was Hardy's time to shine after missing the cut a week earlier.
I had a rude awakening to the start of 2020, but luckily I battled back the next week in Nassau. I laid a good foundation to start the season. I had a lot of tough experiences, but good experiences.
This guy's made more birdies than really any of the guys. He's had 3 of them through 9 holes.
Hardy rebounded, finishing in a tie for third.
And a big step forward to trying to earn a PGA Tour card.
It gave me a lot of confidence. So to bounce back like that after a tough week, in Exuma, I was pretty proud of that.
Keep an eye on him. We're going to see a lot more with Nick Hardy.
Ryan Ruffels, he's one of those talented young Aussies.
A lot of expectations on his shoulders.
To be one of the next great young stars of the sport.
He's going to be top 10 in the world in a couple of years. He's got so much talent.
I'm just getting started. I'm starting to play well, and I feel like I've got a pretty good outlook on what works for me as a golfer and a person.
As Ryan Ruffels prepares for a new week on the Korn Ferry Tour, the young prodigy blocks out the noise and focuses on his game.
And as your lower body just starts to react more to what you're doing in your backswing there, that'll just straighten out a little too. The one thing that can never be questioned with Ryan is his work ethic.
With his game on track, Ruffels can keep his eyes on the road ahead after getting the gears turning in the Bahamas.
Start off with an 11th place, and then I made the cut the following week. Just a few solid results to get myself going was nice.
Keeping pace in Panama for the third event of 2020 proved crucial for the young talent.
I was subject to reshuffles, so basically the goal kind of early on was to just make sure that I was safe for the rest of the season.
And a fast start put Ruffels in prime position to do so.
I started with 65. I probably had an opportunity to do a little bit more with that week.
I absolutely love my golf, but Formula One's my second favorite thing to watch and to spectate, and I've always been interested in cars. It's pretty bloody fast and a lot of fun to drive. 505 horsepower, it's only about 1,500 kilos, which is pretty light, so power to weight ratio is pretty good.
Ruffels has always had the power to match, but it's his physique that has made serious strides.
Turned pro when he was 17. He grew 5 inches, went from 5'7" to over 6 foot.
A growth spurt he owes in part to his family's athletic genes.
Ruffels, whose parents were big-time tennis players.
My mum won the NCAAs at USC as a tennis player and then was a top 20 player in the world. My dad got to the semi-finals of the Australian Open 4 times in singles, and he won it in doubles. So he's obviously a great tennis player.
Ruffels equally credits his trainer, Luke Mackey, who helps him maintain his size over the course of a taxing season.
If I play 18 holes at home, I burn a couple thousand calories. At an event, I can burn up to 5,000 doing this exact same thing. Just because of the nervous energy, your heart rate's up the whole time.
The one thing that people don't respect enough is the fact that all these athletes travel every week. An NBA team has a whole team of staff travelling with them all the time, but these guys do it on their own.
After 4 weeks on the road, I could come back 8 to 10 pounds lighter, which then starts to affect the way I swing the club. It's important that while I'm here, I put on some weight if I can. Oh, good rep.
Good start.
So I was like 14 or 15, so if you do a little side by side, I'm looking a little better nowadays.
That 14-year-old kid sort of walked in the door for the first time, hitting golf balls and looking like a malnourished whippet. Hopefully we're there in 10, 20 years' time and he's got lots of trophies and he's as successful as he wants to be.
Ruffels has just been brilliant.
The rising star turned pro in 2016, but after failing to finish higher than 20th in 18 sponsors exemptions, he remains in pursuit of a full-time place on the PGA Tour.
I had some great opportunities, so I went for it, and I don't regret going for it. I had to work hard, do the right things for a long period of time to start seeing some results, to start putting some scores on the board and seeing myself get better. It's pretty motivating for me, and we're just the start, and I want to keep pushing for more, obviously.
Still finding his way, but a heap of talent. Watch out for him.
Ruffels followed up his opening round in Panama with 3 rounds of even par to finish in a tie for 15th.
Another solid result, got me moving in the right direction on the order of merit. I definitely need to start to convert those top 20s into top 10s and top 5s going forward.
Joining him in the 15th spot was Callum Tarren, while Dylan Wu cracked the top 10 once again.
All I can do is put myself in that position as many times as possible and hoping that the past experiences help me.
But he wasn't the only one sitting on the verge of victory.
I said if I play well in Panama, it would be a big deal for me. So I went there, played really good, almost won.
Mito Pereira's tie for 3rd in his first start of the season was a sign of what was to come. As One Shot Away documents the individual paths of 10 players over the course of the 2020 Korn Ferry Tour season, one common goal rings true.
I want to feel like I belong out here and get better and better and end up being on the tour someday.
Dawson Armstrong excelled as a big fish in a small pond, a diamond in the rough at Lipscomb University. The former college standout has everything to prove in his debut season. As does long shot Luke Kwan, who earned limited status by finishing 5th on PGA Tour China's Order of Merit. His former Oklahoma Sooner teammate Charlie Saxon is chasing his own big break after coming up just shy in 2019.
Saxon, Kwan, they're all guys that have a lot of potential. I have no doubt they're going to have a really good chance this year to get on the PGA Tour.
Combining for 5 victories on the PGA Tour's developmental circuits, Saxon has been on the verge of a breakthrough since 2015. But few define journeyman quite like 33-year-old Drew Weaver.
It's my last shot, and I'm a lot older than most of these guys that have got their card straight out of college. I just kind of kept my head down and stayed in my lane.
Considered a rising star in 2009 when he turned pro alongside the likes of Ricky Fowler, Weaver is poised to put an end to his decade-long search for PGA Tour status. Yet for Chile's Mito Pereira, the personal journey involves more than earning a tour card.
In Chile, golf is not that big. Soccer is big, and tennis is more popular than golf.
Mito is among the latest talented young Chilean players whose success is helping to change the golfing landscape in their home country and make an impact at the pro level.
I played a lot in the US when I was a kid, like at 8 years old to now. So that helped me to get experience to come here when I was a pro and not like be scared out. Because in Chile it's more expensive to play golf than here, you know? But now it's growing out a lot. I mean, with Joaquin winning the PGA Tour.
Another young star has arrived on the PGA Tour.
If you go to Chile now, it's really different than 10 years ago. If you go to the courses, there's a lot of kids playing, there's a lot of people trying to get better and trying to learn more of golf. So it has changed a lot for a good way.
As the Korn Ferry Tour continued its venture through South America, Mito carried the flag of Chile into Colombia, looking to write his own history.
How had like less pressure because I played well in Panama, so I could play the whole year on the Korn Ferry. That was my first goal. But then in Colombia, I played really well.
Mito Pereira. This for a birdie at the par 3.
I got to the last day. I shot 4 under in the front 9, then I made birdie on 10. So I was 5 under. That course is not easy. I mean, if you're missing from the tee, you're done, you know?
We're at the 18th, and here is Guillermo Pereira.
So I got to 18 with 2-shot lead. So I hit a big driver, massive driver, like the best driver of the all 4 days. So I hit a perfect 8-iron, high draw. It was about 15 feet, I think.
That was a great shot.
And I talked to my caddy, like, let's make 2-putt and get out of here. And I hit it, and it was luckily a perfect putt and it went in.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Oh my goodness, incredible.
A bunch of emotions over there, throwing my hat, and it was a lot of emotions like accumulate all these years.
I just couldn't feel anything. It was unbelievable. Finishing that way is absolutely amazing for me with all the people and everything here in Bogota.
As Pereira climbed to second in the standings, the Korn Ferry Tour returned stateside for the Lecom Suncoast Classic, as Dylan Wu continued his pursuit for a win, finishing tied for 11th.
Dylan Wu in the mix yet again.
I knew my good golf could win these tournaments, so just trying to stay a little more consistent.
And earning his best finish to date, Drew Weaver surged in the Sunshine State.
Great start for Drew Weaver. Can he keep it going?
Final round, I felt like I was, somewhat in contention, and to finish 7th was certainly nice.
The pursuit of 25 PGA Tour cards continued south of the border, as players were finding their groove half a dozen events into the year.
I had learned a lot those first 6 events, especially traveling internationally a lot for the first time, and playing well for a lot of it was great.
Nick Hardy's T16 finish marked his second top 25 of the season, while Dylan Wu earned his second top 5 with a tie for 4th.
All the first 6 events, I had to lead for 5 to 6 at some point. I'm getting at least more comfortable seeing that, being up there.
But perhaps nobody has been more familiar with the top of the leaderboard than Mito Pereira, who had yet another chance at victory.
I could make birdie on 18 to go to the playoff, but I left it short, like 2 inches or 3 inches. But it was a great tournament, 3 top 5s in 4 events. It's a good result.
A T4 finish in Mexico put the Chilean atop the Korn Ferry Tour standings, with Wu rounding out the top 5 after his meteoric start. Hardy sits on the 25 bubble, with Ryan Ruffels on the outside looking in. Charlie Saxon cracks the top 75, though Dawson Armstrong is still trying to find his footing in his rookie campaign. But just as players were gaining traction, any momentum was interrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic. That is, until this week.
We're pretty lucky to be one of the first sports to get back to work. We'll be leading by example to other sports, so it'll be a good opportunity for golf.
The Korn Ferry Tour resumes play with an extension to the season that will graduate its class next year, while the top 10 on the points list through this year's Korn Ferry Tour Championship will be granted access into a handful of PGA Tour events for the 2020-21 season.
This mega season that we're about to start back on, I feel like the more events, the better. Honestly, if you're a good player, you want a larger sample size because that allows the cream to rise to the top.
Famed TPC Sawgrass plays host to the first event back this week.
It's awesome to be back competing for the first time in however many months. It's just nice to be out here playing. Yep. Oh. What you had here.
And early in the week, Callum Tarren joined countryman Steve Lewton to prepare for the tournament grind.
The greens are just so pure though, aren't they?
Oh, that's a joke. If you get the right line, it's in. We met a couple of years ago in China, and then Callum got out here last year, and I got out here this year, so he's kind of showing me the ropes, which is really nice, and we just have good camaraderie between us.
Nice, good thought. Trying it on that circle window just left of the tree.
Yeah. Oh, that circle window?
Yeah, it's everywhere. I hit it there every time.
That is mental.
Every time. It's been tough. At home, the golf courses were closed down. It's the past, so we just got to look forward to, obviously, what's ahead. Yep.
Good luck this week, kid. Play well.
Yeah, and you. Have a good week.
As the grueling quest for a PGA Tour card is back underway for Tarren and others, one shot away will continue to follow their unfolding journeys in the months ahead.